So welcome back to Kian's Car Reviews, and today we're going to be testing the driver assistance of the Toyota bZ4X. So let's hop inside. So I just got finished filming the review of this vehicle, so now it's time to test the driver assistance back from the drive from the North Shore to the Auckland City. So as you can see there, that's enabled. So you've got your lane with the cruise control thing over there and the distance setting, so you can have 1 distance, 4 distance, 3 distance, and back to 2 distance, which I'll be using. And on this side, you've got your controls over here. So this is actually to enable your system to start it, and it'll enable at your current speed. This is for your lane assist, so if you turn that off, it'll turn off the lane centering function, not the lane departure warning. You've got your cruise control there, so you can resume from there, plus minus speed. And if the speed limit changes, it'll actually give you a thing on there with your traffic sign recognition, and it'll tell you to either press plus to increase the speed limit to the recognized speed sign, or click minus to lower the speed limit to the recognized speed sign. You can change your mode over here, so if you press that, you can go from adaptive cruise to normal cruise control, which does not do distance control. And of course, your button down there for the distance. And you can actually customize it. So when you go down here, you can go into this, and this is basically just your adaptive cruise control display, which I will keep on when I'm doing the drive. And you've got your lane departure alert system, which is enabled. So you can obviously change your settings fully, which I'll go through here. We've got all that enabled. You've got your PCS, which I have enabled as well. Your parking assist, which I have enabled. Rear automatic emergency braking. Road sign assist. Vehicle settings, all that, yep. So that's all enabled. Yeah. And if I do want to change it, I think you go to DRCC, this one, vehicle settings for DRCC. Here you go, you can change that, and it's on, no speed limit offset. The acceleration setting is mid. Setting guide, you push once, it goes up by 1, you push and hold, it goes up by 5. Guide message on off, and curve speed reduction is set to mid. So now that we've looked at those settings there, we can go back, go up to your driver assistance display, and come to this one where we can see a few more settings, not really much, but you can go customize, you can do utility, and there's ACC customize, which is enabled, so that's about it. That's the only customization you get over there. So now we can navigate somewhere in, I don't know, somewhere in Auckland City. We can go to Lexus. It is quite a fast infotainment system, I will not lie. It's quite good. And of course, you've got automatic wipers and automatic headlights right there. It is a very light drizzle today, so that could affect the system. Although when I tested the BYD Dolphin in this route, it was not raining. The BYD Seal, there was a bit of rain towards the end, so I guess this is fine. It should still perform really well. In my testing, it's quite good, and I will talk more about it once I am on the motorway. Voice guide, let's do this, and destination, there we go. Go. Okay, so now we'll cut to the driving part. So now let's get into the drive. So I've set up the screen to show the adaptive cruise control. And we will go drive to Lexus in Auckland City from here. So let's get on the road and see how it goes. And I will catch up to you guys once I'm on the motorway. Okay, so we're back here. Now we're just about to join State Highway 1, which we will be doing right now. We're lane changing into the on-ramp. We've got a green arrow, hopefully it stays green. And we will see how well this thing's driver assistance does in this road. So, just past this guy, we'll give it that full throttle in eco mode. I don't think eco mode off or on makes much of a difference, but there we go. It's a 100 zone. The car did not pick up that 100 sign earlier, which is not very good. So we'll get over one lane here, and we'll stick in the left lane, see how it does, and we will set it to the speed limit of 100 here. It's on, it says it's on over there. And now you can see over there, these green lines symbolize that it's actively lane tracing, and that green steering wheel means that the system is lane tracing and that my hands are on the wheel. Now, if the lines go gray, it means the system cannot find the lines and it does not know where the lines are. And if the lines are white, it means the system has found the lines, but it is not lane tracing. And if only one line is green, it means it is assisting you away from that line because you're too close to it. Now actually look up ahead. I don't know if this camera can pick it up, but there is definitely some rain, and let's see how well it affects the system. So as we're on this road, I should probably talk about the system and this route. So I've recently only taken 2 BYDs on this road. That Tesla autopilot system did so flawlessly that, just at this point, autopilot best, don't mention it. But no, seriously though, the BYDs were good. I'd say the BYD and this car have a similar level of confidence. Yeah, so the lane actually widens here, and it is sticking nice to the right line and nicely merges over there, which is really good. So you can see even when the lane widens, if the BYD would turn off there, this one stays on. So this one is slightly better than BYD in some ways. The thing is though, is that this one, unlike the BYD, allows you to actually turn the wheel. So in the corners, I can nudge it. I can nudge it. Let's say if I nudge it to the outside, I can nudge it, and then as soon as I let go, it goes back to lane centering. So if there's some cars, like a big truck that's slightly in my lane, I can move over like this, and once I let go, it will go back. Although that time I turned off fully because I turned too much. So back on here. Oh, there's lots of traffic up ahead, which is not so good. Yeah, so I'll actually disengage it. And also, unlike the BYD, it's picked up the wrong speed limit. So the speed limit here is actually 100, but this one picked up the 80 speed limit that is for the buses on the other side of the road. I mean, it's hard to differentiate, but you, as a driver, as a human, you'd be able to tell. In this one though, it picked it up, so that is something to keep in mind. We can resume it here because we have merged over. So press resume over there, and it's re-engaged into traffic jam assist mode, or in standard ACC mode. Now you can see some stop and go traffic is. So we just did some high speed there and some pretty straight roads, and it was really good, very amazing. So now here we can see some of the lower speed driving, and then up ahead we'll see more of the twisty turny roads towards the Harbour Bridge, and maybe a few kilometers from here. Definitely a bit aggressive over there on the brake, but typically it is really smooth. So one thing about this is, unlike the TSS 2.0 system, it is a lot more advanced in its stop and go traffic. It's a lot smoother in stop and go compared to TSS 2.0, and its lane centering has been greatly improved, although it still does lack in some areas. One issue that I do have with the system is when you're going in lower 50-60 zones in the side streets and stuff in the city, where it's basically straight, so you just engage it anyway, even though it's not really designed to be used in that area. It does tend to, when it does tell you to put your hands on the wheel after about 10 seconds-ish, when your hands off the wheel, it'll say to put your hands on the wheel, and if you don't put your hands on your wheel after about 10 seconds after the warning coming up, it just disengages the lane assist system and only leaves your cruise control active, which is dangerous because it does mean that you will go plowing into whatever is in front of you unless the car brakes automatically because of its AEB. However, when you are going on this motorway at this higher speed, the autonomous emergency braking does, not the autonomous emergency braking, but instead the driver assist, where it will not actually, when it turns off, it will actually bring you to a stop in your lane with your hazards on, which is the safer way to do things. So that is good to hear that the car does stuff like that on the motorway. However, I would like to do it on the side streets as well, and I will be interested to see whether it's based on your speed or your map location. And just to demo here, now that we're going at the lower speed, we can actually see that it just says LTA unavailable, take control of the steering wheel, and if I do not, it will not do anything. And since we're going so slow, I could probably test it out. I mean, as you can see, it's actually stopped beeping, and it's sending me to the left. So once I do that though, it lets me touch the wheel again and use it. And actually you can see as the car comes on here, it should show on the screen there that the car is coming into my lane, like that. Really nice. So it just shows that it acknowledges a lot more than it can see. So I think it is based on speed. I feel like if you're going maybe higher than 60, 70-ish, it'll bring itself to a stop in the lane with the hazards on. And if you're going below that speed, it just assumes that you're misusing the system or whatever, and it will not bring it to a stop. So now we move back to the higher speed zones right now. Test here. Now they're going 60. We'll see what happens here. I won't let it go to, actually I'll let it go to stopping assist, and I'll just put the accelerator on. See, now that we're going over 60, it's actually saying no driver's operation, and this is what happens when it is going faster. It gives the driver more time to touch the wheel, and I'll get ready on the accelerator because it will start slowing down. Now stopping assist is active, and you can see it's actively decelerating, and then when I push the accelerator, it says stopping support is deactivated, and it actually disengages cruise control fully, so then I have to re-engage cruise control like that, and now it's back on. I do not want to set it to 80, it's the wrong speed limit, and yeah, it's back on. So it does not suspend you like Tesla Autopilot and some other systems, it just lets you resume and go back onto its autonomous driving suite. So it's intermittent warnings, they do come on more often than some other cars, but it is fine. It's, I think, less often than BYD, and the system is, again, I say slightly more capable than BYD itself, so, you know. I mean, basically, up till now, I haven't really had to do any sort of intervention for stuff that the system's designed for. When I had to change lanes and merge into traffic, I obviously had to do it myself, but the system does not do automatic lane changes and stuff like that anyway, so that is good. I have not taken any control of anything else since then, apart from the time, obviously, I pressed accelerator to demo the emergency stopping assist. So if we pick up some more speed towards the Harbour Bridge, I do want to see how well its curve speed reduction is. I have set it to mid, so you have options between low, mid and high, and it's currently on mid for the speed reduction. So we'll see if it slows down at all for any of the bends going there. So I'm just resting my hand on the bottom, and it is not telling me to tug the wheel, and this is really good. If I can just leave my hand at the bottom of the wheel and just hold it lightly, and it doesn't tell you to touch the wheel, that's really good, which means it does not need much torque to hold your hands on the wheel, or like, you know, to register that you're still awake and you're there. Now let's see if it picks up that 50. It did not pick up the 50, which is really good. You obviously wouldn't want it to pick up signs that are further on that side. The BYD did, this one has not, which is good. And we're back at 100, and I'm only going to set it at the speed limit. Normally I do 2 over, but I have it set at no offset, no nothing. So we'll just be seeing how well it goes at the speed limit and how well it does reducing for curves. A good system should be able to do this road flawlessly. A bad system requires takeovers. On this type of road, up till now, I expect no takeovers, and that's what I've seen from this car. So it's doing really well so far. Up ahead near the Harbour Bridge, if it can do it without me needing to assist it in any way, that just shows me that this system is a lot more competent than some of its peers. Although this is also a really big improvement from TSS 2.0. So this is a great new upgrade they've done from the 2.0 to 3.0. It just feels a lot more refined. Here's the first proper curve, and I mean, my hands are here. I'm not even going to touch it right now. So that's why it's telling me. I'll tug it a little bit there. Only a tiny bit of force required to tell it that, hey, I'm awake, still good. And I mean, look at how solid that steering wheel is. It's barely shaking. It's still really well centered in its lane. I mean, this is amazing. So there we go. So we should be, and yeah, I mean, then again, you saw how that car in front of me went into the right lane. It actually shows that car leaving my lane like that, and shows its animation there to show that the car's left and it's going to start speeding up or whatever, and it'll show the car in front of it to show that it does recognize that there's another vehicle there. So very good there. You actually saw Auckland City and the Sky Tower on the left as we are coming in here. Actually, let's see, does it show? Yeah, it has that animation there, and it shows that he is closer to me than the system would like it to be. And it's good thing about the system is that it doesn't overly apply the brakes to bring that gap. It actually really nicely just doesn't do that kind of thing, and instead it just lightly slows down to get that 2-second gap back. Right now he's on the 2-second gap, but now this is the gap which the car wants, and if that car proceeds really far forward, then it'll show that he's getting further and further away, and that you know, it'll just continue going at the correct speed. So it's a really good display here. Tesla's displays a lot more. Great Wall Motor also displays a lot more, but this one is really useful for what it does, and it's actually probably more useful than Great Wall Motor and BYD. BYD actually shows about the same amount of information as this, actually less information, because it does not show those cars on the other side of the lanes. So now here we are at the 80 zone. Let's see if it recognizes 80, and it did, so I'll press and hold minus to put it to 80. And if I indicate here, it will not speed up, and normally it speeds up when you indicate to pass people. However, because of the fact that I'm right now, there was a car on my left that was actually going about the same speed or slower than me, it doesn't. Now I can demo this here. See, this guy's going faster, so if I indicate, it'll start speeding up a little bit. Oh, not here, because I guess he's here. So now that we're here, we'll re-engage. So I'll actually assist it there because I feel like I turned it off. Because now that's on, I can let go. So let's see how it does here. So I guess right now there's no takeovers. I don't know if that part was a takeover really. It was still doing it, it was just a bit close to one side. I think that has something to do with me actually, you know, changing lanes right before then. So over here is the top parts where I would expect the car to want me to help it. But right now, not even assisting it, it did that corner flawlessly like the BYD did. I think the BYD did it flawlessly, so... Oh, not flawlessly, it just didn't activate in that corner. And when it does, it's not as smooth. So we're on the outside lane, 85, 65 I mean. And I mean, if I do want to speed up, I'll show you right now. I won't count this as a takeover, but if I push the accelerator, it will highlight, it will get rid of, it won't like highlight the lines as blue, and the car in front will not be white. And as soon as I let off the accelerator, it puts it back on and it starts slowing down. So very good over there. So cruise control is really smooth, and so is the cruise control is really smooth, and so is the lane centering so far. It's been absolutely flawless so far. So far I think this is one of the best systems I've tested so far. So we'll just see how it does for the rest of the drive. And if it doesn't need any takeovers, maybe I'll run it in a harder test. But I think as of now, it's quite good. So on the country road, we're entering the fog here. This was the test where I would normally test the driver assistance. I was planning to use this car in this test. However, on the way here at nighttime, it did so well that I think there's no point. It's about 1 hour long, and it did really well. The roads are also really bumpy, so the cameras would shake a lot, so I don't think it's worth it to test on this route. It's probably best to just do over the Harbour Bridge, but it does do really well on this road, even though it is really twisty and turny. You can see from there. So yeah. So actually navigation wants me to go Shelley Beach, but I won't. And see how that car left, it's still keeping there, it's not accelerating hard. And this corner is recommended at a 75, so I don't think it'll slow down. My hands again off the wheel here. Keep it here just to prove. I mean, here we go. It is slowing down a little bit for the corner. Let's tuck the wheel there. And it did it without me needing to assist it. I should change lanes to the right. And actually, if you can see the animation there, that is really good. Back on for the next corner. Now this is the twisty turny bit, so if it does badly here, it did get a bit close to left, although it did not trigger lane departure like the BYD did. And over here, very close. Yeah, there we go. So I did have to take over there just for safety. There's a car there, although he was a bit far away, so we'll wait for the system to reactivate. Right there. So it did need to assist it on that corner. It would have done it because it did trigger the lane departure to bring itself back into the lane, but the car was right there and it was pretty like not so smooth. So yeah, not so bad so far. Oh yeah, okay. Just took the wheel, close this. Not reducing. When it reduces the speed for the corners, this camera down here might see it's actually brings up a curvy road icon, and that icon just symbolizes that, you know, the road is quite curvy, so it's going to start decelerating a little bit. I do notice in corners it does do that as well. So I'm actually missing my exits. I actually might end the navigation, or maybe not. So here we go, and the left one going towards the port. But let's see what it does with this truck. We're going 80, there's a truck. I want to see if it does any in-lane repositioning. So again, hands off the wheel, and no in-lane repositioning there. It did get really close to that truck. I didn't like, turn the wheel. I did hold it just in case. It did suddenly go towards that truck a little bit towards the end because of the corner. But yeah, I mean, this is very confident in the corners, so I mean, I can tell. So we're going on the inside here, and we'll see how it does. Oh, it's actually decelerating, and you can see it shows that corner thing on there to symbolize that it's decelerating to take the curve. And I think that was a really comfortable corner it just did right there, and I wonder if it'll slow down for this corner right here. And it's also slowing down for this corner. Very close to the outside line, although it is doing it. Yeah, there we go. It's going 70. There is a car behind me. I think this is a pretty safe speed limit, so I'm not going to intervene with anything. And yeah, there we go. I don't know what happened. It just kind of turned off there. Whatever reason, it just turned off. And started hitting that line, so that was bad. So currently I'd say we got 2 driver assist. Well, that time it fully disabled, and the other time I just had to assist it. It was enabled. Just had to tuck it back into the lane. On that side it just disabled fully. Actually, I'll have to watch the replay. I don't know if it was fully disabled or what happened here. But now we're basically ended the test here, going down port. So I'll actually go into the left lane here because this guy behind me. So wait for it to reactivate like that. It got reactivated, and now we just go down here. Quite good. So I mean, even with the rain, that thing did absolutely amazing. This was like a really good test. It did really well. Had no real issues in my eyes. They're very smooth as well. Quite smooth as well. It did turn off at one point towards the end, which is bad, obviously. And we set to speed limit of 50. There we go. Yeah, so towards the end it did turn off, and that was not very great. And one time there I did have to assist it ever so slightly because it was veering towards the outside part of the lane, and there was a car on the side. So that's not really the safest thing it's done. And over here, I mean, actually we're driving to the city right now, and it's currently enabled. So it's currently going to do this for me, which is good. This is about a little bit of a city test, which is quite good. It does really well over here. There's a truck on the side. I did have to assist it there, although I did not deactivate the system. I just turned it, and it kept it activated. See what it does here at this lower speed. There we go, picks it up. Let's see how it does this corner. Okay, so it cannot do very tight corners, and it does definitely struggle at them. So yeah, my initial thoughts are this is definitely one of the better systems, and just as a driving assist, it is quite good. Definitely not like Tesla's autopilot where it's that confident yet, although it is still really smooth. And where it's intended to be used on the highway, it is really good. I'd say just be a bit more wary of the different roads, such as the tighter corners and stuff like that. I'd say be more wary for those type of roads. And yeah, so actually it wasn't even slowing down there. But if you're just more wary on those type of roads, you should have no issues with this vehicle. And just, obviously keep an eye out, like all the assistants. This is not a self-driving car, it is just a driver assistant, level 2. But yeah, they did pretty well there, and I am quite impressed. So yeah, then again, thank you for watching. If you do have any other cars you'd like me to run in this test, such as a TSS 2.0 vehicle, I could make that happen. So yeah, if you want to see some comparisons against some other vehicles and stuff like that, leave a comment down below, and I will try and make it happen. And I should say thank you guys for watching.